video for Iron Maiden. I got Graham Chapman to be in it, you know. I'd done one for Kate Bush and with Donald Sutherland, and they asked me, I don't know why, I used to get all these nice young girls saying, will you come and do my pop video, which was great, and then I got all the Iron Maiden, and then after I did Iron Maiden I got all the heavy metal ones, you know, great. I like the nice girls, but the heavy metal was fine, I enjoyed doing this one. And that's when I met Bruce, and he said, I want to do a film about Aleister Crowley. I'd never heard of Aleister Crowley. So this was Aleister Crowley, and then Bruce said to me, oh, he's the wickedest man in the world. The papers said he was the wickedest man in the world, and he did all these gross things. So I thought, fine, I like Richard III. He, you know, Shakespeare play, Richard III is the most wonderful, gross man who does everything. He's the most wickedest man in the world. So I said, well, just do Richard III. So I started writing with the idea of Richard III. And in fact, in a scene that isn't in the film now, but comparison between Julius Caesar and Richard III.
Mr. Andreas. Well, Caesar's not really the main character. Richard is. And Richard III is a structureless play.
So ours is a little bit structureless.
It's just him behaving badly.
It's just about so I've written the film.
Badly, Miss Bond.
Is it because in the beginning he says he's not attractive?
Simon loved doing all the Shakespeare quotes, and because he's a teacher, a lecturer of Shakespeare, I can have him in the film doing lots of, he does a lot of Hamlet and things like that, and he was just enjoying himself. The only time we'll get to play Hamlet in film, you know. Anyway, there's Aleister Crowley. I suddenly realised that there seemed to be a whole load of people who were following him, and I thought, hey, I better read up a bit about him in this film. And I went to see the guy who's got this wand that he's got, his magic wand. Established visitors came down. That's me looking at it's got the Beast 666 on one side, and on the other side it's got Do What Thou Wilt, his famous statement on the other side.
Oh yes, Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones visited once, and now flower-powered Bentley, which caused a bit of a flutter in the village, walked by this extraordinary man, Kenneth Anger, who was... So
there was Jimmy Page, there's all the people who were sort of keen on Crowley. This is Marilyn Manson's favourite people, and there's Aleister Crowley. There's Jack Parsons, who was a follower of Crowley, and this began to interest me when we were talking about the story, that these people were interested in him. And Jack Parsons, there's a crater on the moon named after him. He developed the rocket fuel for American spaceflight, and but was, here we go. Like a Satanist propeller, and he then became friends with Ron Hubbard, and I thought, great, and they're performing Crowley's ceremonies, and they're trying to produce this moon child. I thought, well, that's great, you know. I mean, I thought we'll get that into. There's Ron, and this is an article that came out about him, and there are letters between Crowley and Parsons about Hubbard nicking, you know, doing these ceremonies and then nicking the wife of the thing. And part of Scientology, or much of Scientology, like their big secret statement, Do What Thou Wilt was Crowley's statement, Do As Thou Wilt is the big Scientology statement. And it's just a corruption of Crowley's statement, except mixed with science fiction. Although Crowley was very interested in science fiction, he was very into particle physics. Because remember, particle physics was started around 1900, was when it all came in, and he was still alive till 1947. So this is what I thought, oh God, maybe we can make something around this. I wrote it all in, and then the producers started to tell me to take it out, you know, because of Hollywood running, you know, being run by Scientologists now. I finally got it. There's some of his, there were lines like this which I had to take out, but then I finally got some at the end.
ritual for. That idiot Parsons claims a miraculous illumination from this Lafayette Ronald Hubbard.
They didn't like that, the producers. This is Crowley on his death, you know, when his death. And so we've got the real Crowley at the beginning on his, you know, as he does. It's John Shrapnel plays Crowley.
A piece of vellum.
One of the things people have gone on about in the film is that it's gross. In fact, it's nowhere near as gross as what they used to get up to in the ceremony. You know, drinking menstrual blood and this story.
Which Father had in his scrapbook.
A piece of vellum.
Had an invocation on it, and in order to charge it with magical purpose, it had been put up the vagina of a prostitute for 2 or 3 months, in order to charge it with the spiritual oils of union, and thus it became an extremely powerful object.
So you can see I'm putting stuff that I think is quite mild in comparison with that, you know, or what they were actually up to, but I still got a lot of stick. In the film, the music, there's a lot of concealed occult stuff. The music is Debussy, which is, he was the head of the Priory of Sion, and so part of secret organisations. There's Mozart, which is who was supposed to have been killed for giving off secrets about masonry in the Magic Flute. And there's paintings like this one, which is you think it's just a painting of Christ, but in fact it's an occult picture. Fire, air, water, earth. Fire is choleric. Aries, Aries star sign is the head, so he's handling the head. Air is Gemini. The part of the body which is Gemini is the shoulder, and he's whispering. It looks like he's talking, jabbering, and all that is part of that star sign. The water, Scorpio, the water sign, and the part of the body is the sexual organs. That's why he's going around there. The air, Jesus is going to be thrust in the air. There's the cross that pushes him up, and there's the one that holds him level, which meet around here. And earth, which is pulling him down to the earth. So paintings, you know, paintings, pictures, there's a lot of stuff hidden. I've brought a book, we wrote a book about all the stuff that's in the film, which I've got there if you want to buy some afterwards, and you've got some videos if you want to. Anyway, I think you should have a look at the film now and try and watch the grossness. Now you know it's Richard III mixed with occult stuff and the story of Ron Hubbard.